When you're looking for KitchenAid innovation and quality, who has the answers, the selection, the price? Ventura TV Appliance. With billions in nationwide appliance buying power, more than Home Depot and Best Buy combined, will help you save. Our low prices on Energy Star qualified KitchenAid appliances save you energy and money, and pay no interest on select models when paid in full within 12 months. Ventura TV Appliance, serving you since 1951.
Hi, I'm John Mallos. Welcome to this live edition of Connect with Me on the showroom floor at Ventura TV. On this day, it is the Focus on Business, and a business that's located south of Fresno. It's about an hour and a half away, but you'll find it. We'll talk about it here on Connect with Me, 436 Me TV, option 11. Do turn down the sound. Couple of guests here on tap on Connect with Me on this day. You're watching us live on Comcast Channel 187, 43.6. All of you out there need to tune in today because a very exciting show. Our first guest deals with a focus on business, but then the second half hour, we're going to talk about the pole vault championships taking place in Clovis this coming Friday night. So two guests on tap in the second half hour to talk about that. It'll be very exciting for the city of Clovis on Friday evening. But first, the focus on business right here. Talking about the town of Lindsay, located south of Fresno, about an hour and a half away. I want to put the map up so you can see exactly where Lindsay is in relation to the city of Fresno. If you can detail it right there, I think it's circled. You have to kind of zigzag to get there, if you will. As you can see, Lindsay is about halfway between Visalia and Porterville along Highway 65. Getting there can be a challenge in a cold, foggy day, no less, but most outsiders who venture that way are headed for the McDermott Fieldhouse. Roll the videotape and I'll show you what I'm talking about. The idea born about 10 years ago after a trip by politicians in Lindsay to the city of New York City. And the idea at the time was to make this place the Disneyland of the Central Valley. That's the look inside. You know, it hasn't quite worked out that way, but nonetheless, this is a fun place to be and has helped turn a bleak financial situation for the city of Lindsay into something positive these days. It opened up back in April of 2008 as a blue laser tag building. Now it has arcades, basketball courts, a rock climbing wall, indoor surfing, a zip line, a fitness center. The list goes on. Oh my goodness, I would never do that. The former fruit packing house, once owned by Merwin Arthur McDermott, is now an all-round indoor sports facility. That looks like a lot of fun, a place you'd want to take your kids or your grandkids, whatever the case may be, a nephew, a niece. Live in our studio right now to talk about this place, the Focus on Business, is Clint Ashcraft. He is the general manager of the McDermott Fieldhouse in the city of Lindsay. He is here to take your call, so if you have children, grandchildren, we'll tell you the pricing. We'll give you a little history of the Fieldhouse itself and of the city of Lindsay, how it has, well, how this Fieldhouse here, this indoor sports, kind of all-around sports facility, has really brought the city of Lindsay up. It's lifted it up from the financial crisis that took place back in 2009, 2010. 436 Me TV, option 11, Focus on Business. Back in a moment.
Frigidaire. We introduced the first home freezer, the first pulsator agitator washer, and now we introduce the Frigidaire Orbit Clean dishwasher, designed with a unique wash arm that gives you 4 times more water coverage for a consistently better clean. Frigidaire, over 90 years of legendary innovation.
See the full line of Frigidaire appliances at Ventura TV Electronics and Appliances.
Back here on the show, remember we've got two guests. We'll be here until 11 o'clock, the full 60 minutes, live on Comcast, channel 187, 43.6. We entertain your calls each and every day. Open phone lines right now, 436-ME-TV, option 11. Do call in, but if you can, turn down the sound. Clint Ashcraft is here, general manager of the McDermott Fieldhouse. Hey, glad to see you.
Yeah, it's nice
Good to be here.
Thank you.
Yeah, all right. So, Clint, the McDermott Fieldhouse. I said in the monologue that this place has really kind of uplifted the city of Lindsay, kind of brought it out of the financial doldrums, so to speak, from 2009, 2010. Explain how that happened.
Well, to be honest, I don't know that it's lifted the city out of financial doldrums necessarily. It's been more of now we have a place for people to come to McDermott, to Lindsay. There's a reason for people to travel to Lindsay, and so it's creating some viability. It's creating a destination in our city. Being financially responsible for the last several years and being very, very careful with the money, that's what's kind of helped us get to where we're out in a safe ground again.
But of course, Clint, as you know, if somebody ventures into Lindsay, and I've been there, it's a very nice town, very nice, small, quaint town. And then you've got these three buildings, the McDermott Fieldhouse it's called. When people go there, they're going to spend their money in the city of Lindsay, so it does kind of help financially.
Yeah.
Does it not?
There are several immeasurable, outcomes from it. They buy their gas in Lindsay. They're buying food. Obviously, coming to McDermott to spend money and to do things there. So yes, it has helped to elevate the experience and to help raise us from where we were. So
now explain. The city owns the McDermott Fieldhouse.
Yes.
Okay. How did that happen? Explain how that. I know you sent me an email with all kinds of information. I did read it, but you explain how the city came to acquire that place.
Okay. So the city felt like they needed to do something big, something substantial, to put them on the map, to provide some revenue and some resources for the community, as well as draw from outside of the community. And so on a visit, as you mentioned in your monologue, on a visit to New York, several of the city officials visited a location called Chelsea Piers.
Yep,
and Chelsea
I'm familiar
Piers,
with that.
yeah, and they're abandoned piers that were too small for the ships of the day and were renovated and became this incredible sports complex. So when they returned, they decided, we need to create our own Chelsea Piers, and they drove by this packing house, citrus packing house, that was just adjacent to the downtown, and decided, hey, that's our Chelsea Piers.
That's it. That's the place. All right. Caller, you're on the air. Go ahead. Caller. Hey, caller, are you there? I guess not. Roll the videotape. I want to roll that same monologue video because we're told it's great video. We saw it in the monologue, but there's some on the tail end there that really shows some spectacular footage here. Indoor bounce houses, I'm assuming that's what I'm looking at. All right.
Yeah,
go ahead and talk over this if you would.
Yeah, you're fine. So the bounce houses we set up every Friday night. We have a bounce house Friday night, and then they're there on the weekends as well. And depending on how many we have, they're set up on our location, on our basketball courts or soccer fields. So they're not there during the weekday. We really are a sports facility weekdays and a fun center on the weekends. So great for birthday parties, great for just a day of activity with the family. So.
I would not try that at my age. Okay, when I was like 10 years old, I could easily do that. I'd go in head first, but not now. Can you do that, by the way?
You know what? I can't. Balance is not my thing. So the skate park is definitely outside of my... And the skate park, by the way, has moved outdoors, and now it's now a city park, and now we have an X-Fit arena in that
So is this
area.
the surfing that I was talking about?
It is. This is our flow rider. It's a double flow rider. It's an incredible
How does that work?
experience.
How does that water work?
So there are 240 horsepower pumps that are submerged in water below this that pump that water at 35 miles an hour up that angle. So the gravity and the force of the water kind of create a surface that you can carve and do all kinds of fun if you're good. I look like most of these kids. I just get blown right off of it. So it's a lot of fun.
So it's about 35 miles an hour. Now, please tell me, Clint, please tell me that's recycled water.
It is, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, there's a $30,000 gallon reservoir of water. Yeah, we're in a drought, so.
Yeah, we are in a drought, but that's okay. Terrific footage there. And, I want to roll some other pieces of videotape that we have from the McDermott Fieldhouse because it is a fun place. And I want you to talk about you know, the age groups that come into this area here, because we saw some small kids. We're looking at what teenagers right here, it looks like. What are they doing here?
Okay, so we have created a Get Up and Move initiative where we invite 7th graders. We're focusing on 7th graders. We invite them to come and attend a field trip. And this field trip incorporates motivation to live a healthy lifestyle. In this you're seeing kind of a team building activity going on with a facilitator who is a motivational speaker actually known throughout the country. We have a nutritionist, a doctor who comes and teaches us a segment about what foods they should be eating or shouldn't be eating and how much water they need to be drinking each day. We have our personal trainers who just teach them how to move and what the simple body movements should be and how if you either use it or you lose it. And so that's what is going on here. And then we feed them a nutritious lunch. We feed them, you know, brown rice, black beans, chicken, and then we let them play. We let them just experience having a good time for a couple of hours in the facility, and let them realize that exercise and fitness does not have to be boring, that it actually can be a lot of fun. So.
Yeah. So the prices, let's talk about the prices. What does it cost to get in for children, for adults? Let's say you have a birthday party, whatever the case may be. What are the and they're different price ranges?
Yes. So we have birthday party packages. So if people decided, hey, I want to bring 12 kids over, it's my son's daughter's birthday on this day, packages start out at $200, including the pizza, the cake, all the attractions, some money to spend in the arcade, and all those kinds of things. And then we have some larger packages for $400. They get a room to kind of experience for the hour.
Does it depend on how many children show up at the party? Is that determines the cost?
Yeah. We have a minimum of 12, and then if there are more children that come, then they can add on as many children as they like to.
So anywhere from $200 to $400. Okay. So I want to get back to the original. Oh, we do have a phone call. Okay. Caller, you're on the air. Go ahead. Caller?
Good morning. Yeah, hi there. Why 7th graders? Why not 4th graders? Why not 3rd graders? I'm curious. I teach middle school, and I know, of course, there's a sweet spot right there where they're going to go one way or the other. But whose decision was it, 7th graders? Are there any plans to expand the program, fitness program, to include, let's say, elementary school?
Absolutely. Well, at this point, we won't turn anyone away. We are focusing on 7th graders because, number one, in some research that we did, fitness and nutrition is actually part of their curriculum. So it's much easier for a school to justify bringing their 7th graders over for this type of field trip than to say, hey, I'm going to pull my 3rd graders or 4th graders out who are studying maybe, you know, other kinds of sciences.
Does it boil down to the level of understanding?
Yeah, and I think
because when they're in middle school, they understand a great deal more than they do if they're in 3rd or 4th grade.
Right. Yes. Well, they do. They understand and they pick it up, and they are influenced by one another. And so part of our purpose is to create a community of these students who want to achieve in this way, who want to live a good, healthy life and remind each other. We also feel like as 7th graders, a lot of times mom and dad are giving them 10 or 20 bucks and saying, hey, you know, get your food while you're out with your friends. And they're making their own decisions a lot of times on what their nutritional needs are going to be. And they influence mom and dad. I had a story of one of our teachers who attended this program and said, my daughter all the time, you know, she tells me, don't buy this, buy that, you know, because she's conscious of it, even though the parent was not. So we feel like it's a good age.
But you still have
for us
field
to create
trips
that.
for elementary school kids, though, right?
We do.
But the focus for middle school kids is diet and exercise.
Well, and that's just this Get Up and Move initiative. The field trips, we have thousands of kids who come just to play and just to be active.
Yeah.
So.
All right. Another call. Caller, you're on the air. Go ahead.
Good morning. I live in Fowler, and Lindsay is another nice small town. Love to go down there. Went once when a friend of mine's band played. Is there any live music coming up? And also, what is the website that people can find your schedule on so that more people from out of town can find out what's going on and when to go for a special occasion?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Well, we have... our website is McDermottFieldhouse.com. We also send out an email blast, and if you'd like to be a part of that, we'd love to get your email. We send that out each Friday with all of the updated information. Our next scheduled concert is September 19th, and I wish I could remember what the band was. We work with promoters who bring in live music. So if you have individuals who like to bring in and pull off their own events and concerts, we're also a venue, and we love to entertain lots of different things. We have spots big enough for a couple hundred, or as big as 3,000 or 4,000 people. So if it's an event,
I'm going to ask you about that on the other side of the break. We do have to take a break, but Clint Ashcraft is here. He's the general manager of the McDermott Fieldhouse, way down there in Lindsay. If you venture down that way, you got to stop in. It's about an hour and a half away. 436-ME-TV option 11. Turn down the sound on your TV set if you're watching and you want to call in. We're back in a moment.
When you like Ventura TV Appliance on Facebook, it's nice. But when you love the Samsung big screen we deliver, it's even better. Our website is cool, and it's a good place to start. But you really should touch the merchandise before you buy. Time for that upgrade to an HD 3D web-enabled Samsung TV. Get the best selection, price, and service in town without waiting. Come in to Ventura TV Appliance and touch the merchandise today.
Back here on the program today, we're talking about the McDermott Fieldhouse in the town of Lindsay, a small, quaint town. Hey, I want to put up the disclaimer just real quick because the focus is on business today. Reminder, we asked Clint to come in of his own volition. He came here of his own free will, and we had him on. He's not being paid. We didn't pay him. He's not paying us. You know, we promote business here each and every Tuesday when we can on the show because Ventura TV has been here since 1951, and we want to help other businesses here in the Central Valley. That's going to do it for the disclaimer, but we're going to be here until 11 o'clock today. 2 guests on tap. The second half hour, very exciting. Pole vault championships, talking about that in Clovis on Friday night. But for now, getting back to the McDermott Fieldhouse, and that is... I want to get into the pricing just one more time before I move on. So a family of 4 can get into this place for how much and spend the day for approximately what?
So $69, we have a promotion going on right now that includes a family of 4 attending. They get an unlimited wristband to the surfing, rock climbing. If they want to use the fitness facilities, they can, bounce houses. And then we give them a $40 arcade card that they can use to just play the arcades or laser tag as well throughout the day. We also give them a 16-inch pizza and 4 sodas. So,
wow.
So that's a promotion we run. Typically, you could spend well less than $100 for a family of 4 if you just came in on any given day, and that promotion's ongoing.
What about a family of 5 or 6? How much extra are you going to spend?
Maybe $15, $20 a piece extra.
Okay.
So,
all right.
yeah.
So I want to roll another piece of videotape if we've got one, maybe a different clip that we haven't seen before, and talk about, you have 3 different buildings. Okay, number 1, square footage of each building, and what's in each of these buildings, something different, right? Go ahead and talk about that.
Yeah, they're all connected, and if you go to McDermott, it takes up this long city block between the street and the train tracks.
But 3 separate entities.
2 of the buildings were existing packing house structures. One of them was built in
packing house,
Yes,
right?
yes. Okay. It was a lemon and orange packing house structure. The original building was built in 1911, so it's over 100 years old. Obviously, we had to go through and re-engineer and put some new things and make sure that it was safe. But in that building, and it's in the center of the 2, we have our arcades. And we have in the basement, which is kind of unique because it's really kind of a dark and fun basement. We have our laser tag, which is one of our one of the largest laser tag arenas in the world. So it's a lot of fun. It's all black light. It's lots of music. The other building that was existing is a metal structure.
Is that what you're talking about, the laser tag?
That's it. Yeah, you can see
it
right
there.
With the fog and the lights and the
now,
music.
is that underground?
It is. It is, yes. It's the basement of the packing house. This is actually where they used to place the fruit, and then I don't know the exact process, but where they'd, I believe, pump ethylene into the fruit to make it orange and make it the right colors. But yeah, this.
So now that's the laser tag area.
This is our laser tag basement. Yes. So yeah, it's approximately 10-minute games. You put it. You can see them getting set up. They put their vests on. They have the blinking lights. And I can tell you, when you come out of that game, you are sweating and you're exhausted. It's a lot of fun, and it really pushes you beyond what your
now
comfort level
this will
is.
get your frustrations out of that boxing.
Yeah, you can get in there and really have it out if you need to. We have the big gloves, so you can you can have lots of fun.
Imagine
with
you
that.
go in there once in a while, don't you?
You know what?
Get
I'd
your
like to a few
frustrations
times.
out.
Probably not as often as I should. Yeah, and then this is the arcade from the level just above that laser tag area. So this is the original structure that we're looking at. You can see all those nice wood beams, and actually a lot of the flooring is original as well. We have a lot of the original oak flooring that the heist forklifts used to
Dating
drive
back to
over.
1911?
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
Refinished, huh? Wow.
Yeah, so it's a lot of fun. This building here is another original building. It's about a 20,000 or maybe a little bit more square foot metal building. You can see the kitchen there. That's when we have the bounce houses set up. Also, it's our basketball, volleyball facilities. We have 2 collegiate basketball courts and versatile to volleyball courts as well. So.
Yeah, it's amazing. So, okay, we got to take a break, and I got more questions on the other side. Coming back here on Connect with Me, 436-ME-TV option 11 if you want to call in. Turn down the sound. McDermott Fieldhouse looks like a fun place, but a lot more to talk about here in the next few minutes on this program on Comcast Channel 187 and 43.6.
When you're looking for Whirlpool innovation and quality, who has the answers, the selection, the price? Ventura TV Appliance. With billions in nationwide appliance buying power, more than Home Depot and Best Buy combined, will help you save. Our low prices on Energy Star qualified Whirlpool appliances save you energy and money, and pay no interest on select models when paid in full within 12 months. Ventura TV Appliance, serving you since 1951.
In the heart of Central California, over 28 attractions, and 172,000 square feet of state-of-the-art fun. Where you can do all under one complex. McDermott Fieldhouse. It's more than you think.
Hey, that was a commercial that plays occasionally on some of the stations around here on the Central Valley for the McDermott Fieldhouse, a fun place. Let's roll some more videotape before we run out of time here, because I only got about 10 minutes left here for this half hour. And I want to ask you, okay, a trip to New York City by some of the politicians, and they used that as a model for what they saw in New York to bring it back here. Who owned the facility back there 10 years ago? In 2004 it was.
You know, that's a great question. I'm not even sure who, if it was a bank-owned situation or what the situation. The facility was in very rough shape. I mean, weeds were completely overgrown. They actually at one point brought prison labor in to help demolish what was there so that they could rebuild the inside. So I don't know who owned it, though.
But Merwin Arthur McDermott, the original owner, built that place back in 1911 as a fruit packing house. And there are some pictures right there. I don't know what circa this is, but the old photos of what it used to look like there, Clint.
Yeah, we've got a horse and wagon there, so it's a long time ago.
Well, yeah, that's eons ago, my friend.
Yes,
even before I was born.
Yes, and this is probably the original when the packing house was first built in that early 1900s, 1911, 1920.
Yeah,
so
that's what it looked like. Amazing stuff. And so McDermott owned it. Merwin Arthur McDermott, he originally owned it. Back to the video inside, current day footage there, obviously. So did he just walk away from that facility? Is that how I understand it?
You know what? I'm not sure how that business ended for him. He had packing facilities throughout California. I know he had some in like the Santa Barbara area, and so I don't know what ended up happening with his business.
But eventually I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. But the city retained the name McDermott because it's important to the city that we incorporate the past with the future, and that's kind of what we feel like we're doing. You know, as that transformed, we still have wonderful packing houses and facilities in our city, but we feel like it's important that we honor, you know, the agricultural and the many things that it's done for us. So a lot of our decor, even in the facility, is of a packing house.
Well, it's part of the history of Lindsay, and you want to retain that.
Yeah.
So another call coming in. Good morning. You're on Connect with Me. What's your question?
Hi. Actually, It's more of a statement. It's great to see positive things like this happening. And but my question is, you keep showing a picture of some little girls in black and white with one little girl's head is on the table. She looks like she has had too much fun, totally exhausted. You have to show that picture again. It's a real picker-upper in the morning to see that. So,
okay.
I'm
hey,
sure
what's your question? Do you have any grandkids, kids, or what?
My grandson, he's 15 years old. He's going to be 16.
Oh.
Unfortunately, I don't have a vehicle to travel to Lindsay, although maybe in the future we can get together.
Yeah.
He's getting up there in a few years. Who knows, John? Maybe I'll have some great grandkids to take over there.
Okay.
I don't even know where Lindsay is, to tell you the truth. I live in Clovis.
It's an hour. Well, it's an hour and a half away. There's the map right up on the screen there. It's an hour and a half away. Go down to 99, past Visalia. So I would say it's about halfway between Visalia and Porterville along Highway 65, somewhere in that range. It's about an hour, hour and a half drive.
Oh, and then us grandparents could maybe stop off at the casino on the way home.
Ah, you're a gambler. Okay.
No, I'm not. No, I don't have the money to do that. But I was just kind of joshing there. But no, everything that you guys got going there is great. I hope it does help. Obviously, it's helping already.
All right. Thank you for the call.
I see a lot of smiling faces. Always good to see.
Well,
thank you.
Absolutely. Our aim is...
Thank you for starting your project, young man. I didn't catch your name.
My name is Clint Ashcraft. And absolutely, our aim is to wear the kids out. We want, when they come, for them to be so active and having so much fun that when you throw them in the car to take them home, they're asleep before you get home. And that's kind of what we're trying to accomplish. We feel like that we really want to be pegged as a get up and move center, not so much a Disneyland or the Central Valley at this point, but a facility where you're exercising, you're having fun, and you're doing something good for your body and your family.
So a trip to New York City 10 years ago, an abandoned facility, the idea was born. When did the city purchase the McDermott Fieldhouse?
It would be in the right around 2004, 2005.
So that's when the purchase took place, and that's when the renovation. Now, it was a slow process. How much investment did the city make in this?
We estimate the total cost to the city being around $18 to $20 million to pull this off.
For the last 10 years, not all at one time, right? Over the course of the last 10 years.
It was fairly concentrated. It happened very quickly. The transformation in the building of the third building, which is an enormous building. Our entire square footage is 172,000 square feet. So that's
for all three buildings.
Yes, so it's a huge facility.
So, and where did the city of Lindsay get that kind of money?
You know,
bonds?
We had some amazing grant writers. There was bonding against the redevelopment agency that they established many years ago.
Right.
And I think, as I wrote to you before, they kind of put all their eggs in one basket. It was like, hey, we have nowhere to go but up. We need to do something big, and so they built this enormous, beautiful facility. And there you can see, a rock climbing wall. It's 50 feet tall. I mean, it's the facilities that are here are second to none, and it's actually good for. I mean, it's a wall that almost anyone can have a positive experience on. So.
Yeah, 50 feet tall. So a 16-year-old kid would not have fun in here?
A 16-year-old kid?
Too old?
No, they would have a ball. 16-year-old. We actually, I mean, if any deficiency we have, it's for the younger kids. We have the bounce houses and we have some arcade games and things, but like toddlers, 3, 4, 5-year-olds, we do really well with the tweeners, so with the kids that are 12 to 18.
So if you're 18, you can go in here and have fun.
Oh yeah, yes. Yeah, I've seen government officials get in there with their suits and laser tag and just have it out and have a ball. I mean, we've seen
done
everybody.
That with your kids?
I have
right,
constantly.
I know I'm getting the wrap. I got to go, but I want to ask you something, and just one other question, and that is, the only hurdle I see here is people. Okay, like that caller said, where is Lindsay? Do you find that that's a huge hurdle? Number one, where is the city? And number two, how do I get there? Oh my God, it's an hour and a half away from Fresno. Is that the biggest hurdle?
It is a huge hurdle. Location is definitely, and I've had many people say, oh, you know, they wanted to build this in some other community, and that's just simply not the case because it was built by Lindsay, by our community. But it is a big hurdle, but you know what? It's been something that we've overcome over and over and over. People are willing to drive. People in this area are accustomed to driving north or south.
How do you
for certain
overcome
things.
that?
So we try to make our prices as competitive as possible. We try to make it very worth the drive when you get there.
Right.
And we're constantly inviting. I mean, we want to continue. We're just now getting the word out a little bit better about our facility, and we know that people will come. Traffic is almost non-existent to Lindsay from here, so it's been a great thing.
Right. So advertising, getting the word out, is how you're overcoming that, basically. Yeah. And a lot of people drive south, so if you're driving south, go that way and stop in.
Yeah.
Clint,
it's worth the drive.
Clint, it was a pleasure meeting you.
Yes,
Good to have you on the show. Come back again sometime.
Thank
All
you.
right. Clint Ashcraft, the general manager at McDermott Fieldhouse in the city of Lindsay, about an hour-and-a-half drive from here. It's not a bad drive, so check it out. We're back with the second half of our program here on Connect with Me. Talk about the pole vaulting championships this Friday in Clovis. Back in a moment.
Ventura TV Appliance Center. We're the save energy, save time, save money place. The Energy Star qualified, ready, steam-equipped, high-efficiency Frigidaire affinity place. You heard right. Right now, save big on select Frigidaire laundry pairs and pay no interest when paid in full within 6 months. At the hometown low price, think outside the big box place. Since 1951, Ventura TV Appliance Center. We're working hard to be your place.
Don't you ever hit me again!
Chief, I think we got a hit on our
Me TV Fresno, now on Comcast Channel 187.
When you like Ventura TV Appliance on Facebook, it's nice. But when you love the KitchenAid appliances we deliver, it's even better. Our website is cool, and it's a good place to start. But you really should touch the merchandise before you buy. Save big with KitchenAid. Right now, get up to a $1,000 prepaid MasterCard when you purchase select KitchenAid appliances. Get the best selection, price, and service in town without waiting. Come in to Ventura TV Appliance and touch the merchandise today.
From now on, when I sneeze, I'll try to sneeze more friendly.
This is what's so much fun about doing an hour program. We can have multiple guests here. We can change them out anytime we want. A great first half hour here on Connect with Me, talking about the McDermott Fieldhouse. We're going to continue along maybe the same theme a little bit, world of sports now. One of the most exciting events of the year is going to take place in the city of Clovis this coming Friday night. This thing has been going on for the better part of 20 years. I want to roll the videotape, show you exactly what's going to be happening in the city of Clovis. Oh my God, the 20th annual North American Pole Vault Street Championships. It's expected that some 10,000 people will show up for this thing. Back in 2010, by the way, they had a record 13,000. They packed the streets of Clovis each and every year for this event. The first event of its kind took place in the French Quarter in New Orleans, and some people here in the Central Valley who were there knew this thing would work right here in Clovis or / Fresno. Now remember, at the time, in the early 90s, pole vaulting was on the decline. The purpose of this event and others like it around the country was to spark interest in the sport, not only at the high school level, but at the college level as well. Also keep in mind, back then, there were fewer qualified coaches who could handle these pole vaulting athletes. Tremendous athlete. You got to be in great shape to do this, by the way. In 1996, Track and Field magazine listed this event as one of the best new ideas for track and field across the country. But is it still in that category? That's the question. Oh my goodness, look at that. Live in our studio right now is Scott Greenman. He's an athlete, a pole vaulter. In the orange shirt, he'll be competing on Friday nights on the streets of Clovis, and his coach, Bob Fraley, the former track coach at Fresno State. You may recall he did coach there for many years. You might recognize the face and the name. He is an expert in pole vaulting. He's one of the founding fathers of this event here in the city of Clovis/Fresno. And so we're going to be back with our program here. You can call in at 436-MeTV option 11. Ask these two fine gentlemen a question or two about the championships to take place in the streets of Clovis this Friday night. Back in a moment.
When you like Ventura TV Appliance on Facebook, it's nice. But when you love the Whirlpool appliances we deliver, it's even better. Our website is cool, and it's a good place to start. But you really should touch the merchandise before you buy. Touch the new Whirlpool Ice Collection. It offers a modern style made to create an inspiring kitchen experience. Save big on this Whirlpool Black Ice or White Ice kitchen. Come in to Ventura TV Appliance and touch the merchandise today.
Pole vaulting is a very exciting sport. You got to be a great athlete to take part in this. It's like long jump. I could not do that in high school or even college. I couldn't pole vault. I'm scared of heights. But Scott Greenman, apparently you're not scared of heights, and neither are you, Bob Fraley. How are you, sir? Good to see you.
Thank you.
How are you?
Doing fine.
So this event, you're going to take part Friday night.
Yes, I am.
So you're not scared of heights, are you?
No, I'm not. I'm not.
Where did that come from?
I don't know, just started doing it and got used to it and thought it was fun. So
What's your record? How high can you go?
16:11 and a half, I think.
Is that good,
feet.
Bob?
That's
That's pretty good, huh?
It's good for a young college person. He's going to be a junior. That's good for a young college person, yes.
Okay. How old are you?
I'm 19.
19, and you're going where? Fresno State?
No, University of Sioux Falls in South Dakota.
Oh,
yep.
wow. So you're not even going to school here.
Yeah, I'm out of state.
Hey, I want to roll some videotape of pole vaulting. What is give us the fine art of pole vaulting. What do you have to do to be a great and good pole vaulter?
Well, it all starts on the runway. You got to be fast.
Really?
Yeah, you got to know how to sprint on the runway with a pole in your hand.
The faster, the better?
Yeah, that's where it all starts. And then you got to be, from the moment of takeoff, you got to be a gymnast, and you got to have the abilities to have body control. You got to know what you're doing in the air. So,
wow, that's amazing.
Yeah.
So the faster you run down that runway with that pole in your hand, the higher you will vault into the air?
Yeah, in all essence,
that work? Just physics or what?
Physics. Yeah. If you're faster, you can get on a bigger pole, and a bigger pole means you can go higher, basically. And so,
what kind of pole do you use?
It's a 15-foot, 7-inch pole, and it's made out of fiberglass from UCS. And yeah, it goes up by weights, and there are different weights for each vaulter. And the bigger pole, you go higher.
Yeah. Bob, what makes this event draw so many people each and every year? I'm going to pull this a little bit closer to you so we can hear you there.
Well, the reason why it draws so many people is because we emphasize it as being a family event. They can bring their children out, and if you look at the videos, you see how excited the children are to be there. So it's a family event. Our vaulters are instructed on how to make an emotional connection with the fans. And so we want the fans to believe that, look, if we're not behind, say, Scott Greenman in that Team Clovis uniform, he will not make the bar. And so when they leave, we want them feeling like, hey, that athlete or that team did well because we were there. Our presence counts.
Mm-hmm. And so when you say family event, are there other things going on around that main event, that pole vaulting event, that a family can enjoy if they bring their kids?
No, the little kids really get into this thing because of the way that our pole vaulters are going to treat them. They're going to be tossing things out into the stands. We're going to be giving things away. Our athletes will stop and do autographs with them, and they make those kids feel like they're a part of it.
Right. Now, the first event took place, as we roll another piece of videotape here, took place in the city of New Orleans?
We went to New Orleans
20 years ago, right?
It was 1994.
Okay.
The reason why we did is because the pole vault had begun to There had been a number of fatalities or injuries, and so we needed to go back and look at what we were doing. We wanted to work with the school system, the colleges and the high schools, and we brought in some of the best coaches in the world, and then we brought them in from Russia, from Japan, from China, from France, from Great Britain and Germany, and we sat down with them and we come up with a new plan, and right after that we reduced the injuries and the fatalities, and we produced right after that, like at the Olympic Games in 2002, we got first and second place in the men at the Olympic Games, and we got first in the women.
Yeah, for years though, the foreign countries have dominated the pole vaulting event, and you know, I have this visual in my mind of 1976 in the Olympic Games and Bruce Jenner competing in the decathlon and taking part in the track and field events, and pole vaulting specifically. I can't get that visual, I don't know why, out of my mind when I look at these young athletes here. What are the average ages of some of these athletes here?
The average age of them, we have them starting, a city team, which is selected from around the United States, is made up of 2 elite athletes. That could be a college athlete or a professional athlete. Then there's 2 high school boys and 2 high school girls, and they make up a city team. And so I would say that they start with probably on the average, high school are 16, 17, 18 years of age, and then your collegiates is 21, 22, right? And then your open athletes might be into their 28, 29, 30.
How many athletes altogether?
There's going to be a total of 30.
30 athletes?
Yes.
And how many categories?
They're by
how many
teams.
Classes? How many teams?
There's 5 teams.
5 different teams,
Yeah,
depending on the age groups.
And no, they all the way it works is, even though he's on Team Clovis, he represents the elite, and we have the high school kids. We add up each one of them's height, and then the team championship is determined by that.
I see.
And then what we also recognize, the winner of the elite. Those are the athletes that are out of college, and we just worked out a thing yesterday with Hedrick Chevrolet. If any of either the male or female if they break the 20-year-old record, they will get a new Chevrolet.
And what's that record?
It's for the women, it is 15.1.5, and for the men, it's 18.10.5.
Okay, 18.10.5.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So for women, 15.1.5, and for the men, it's 18.10.5.
Right. If they break the record, they will get a brand new Chevrolet.
From Hedrick Chevrolet.
Yes, that's correct.
The car of their choice.
No, it's not the car of the choice.
Corvette. It's a Corvette.
No,
then,
it is
right?
not a Corvette.
It's not a Corvette.
No. And then the other thing that's an automatic thing is whichever boy or girl in the elite wins, then they get a trip. Jimmy Jack's fishing up in Alaska. They get a
hold that up so that people can see it. No, over this camera here.
Okay,
there you go, right there.
They get to go to Alaska to one of the world's top fishing resorts.
Oh, you're blocking the mic there. You're blocking the mic.
They get to go to Alaska, one of the top fishing resorts, and be there for 3 days and 3 nights and fish.
Wow, that's
and
terrific.
That's each one of them. If they win, that's good for 2 people.
Okay. You know, Brett Hedrick has been on this program before, and I'm going to talk to Brett directly about giving away that Corvette to the highest bidder. No, I'm just kidding. Anyway, the pole vault championships take place this coming Friday night in the city of Clovis. A free car from Brett Hedrick Chevrolet, of course, in the city of Clovis for the one that breaks the women and the men's highest record for pole vaulting. Back with our program, 436 Me TV Option 11. Turn down the sound.
Ventura TV Appliance Center. We're the save energy, save time, save money place. The Energy Star qualified #1 rated high efficiency Cabrio from Whirlpool Place. You heard right. Right now, save big on select Whirlpool Cabrio laundry pairs and pay no interest when paid in full within 6 months. At the hometown low price, think outside the big box place. Since 1951, Ventura TV Appliance Center. We're working hard to be your place.
The North American Pole Vaulting Street Championships take place this coming Friday night in the city of Clovis. What time does it all start, Bob?
It will start at 4:45, and it should be over about 9:30 or so.
All right. We're here with Scott Greenman. He is one of the competitors, and so 18.10.5, that's the record for men. Do you think you can break that?
I'm gonna give it a shot.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Yeah.
So,
Have you? What's the closest you've gotten to that?
16.11.5.
Okay,
so,
yeah, you got a long way to go.
Yeah, a long
then.
way to go, but
it doesn't seem, 2 inches. All right, 2 inches, but that 2 inches is, to you, it might as well be a mile.
Yep, that's 2 inches that you got to go that much higher. And
how much more effort and athletic ability does it take to go 2 more inches? I'll let you answer first, and I'll let Bob talk about it.
It just all depends on how big of a pole you can get on, and that comes down to speed and technique and just faith in yourself. And that having people there, that's a huge advantage, just because it gets us fired up, and that could get me those 2 inches, or can get someone those 2 inches, just having someone cheering.
How much more athletic ability does it take to go those 2 extra inches, Bob? I mean, 2 inches is a long way in a pole vaulting event.
Well, it may not take, on any one given day, it may not take much of anything. A body has 420,000 motor units, and the only time you ever fire 420,000 motor units in a life or death situation, the next is head-to-head competition. And it's so if psychologically if he can get himself to fire, say, 387,000 motor units, then he could easily do it. Now, we do have several people that will be right on the very, very close to making that.
Yeah. I remember, I'm going to relate this to baseball. Somebody in 1977 asked Reggie Jackson, how is it that you hit 3 consecutive homers in one game in the World Series? He said, I was in a zone that night. That's the first time I had heard that. I was just in a mental and emotional zone. Is that how you would characterize it?
Yeah, you gotta be prepared for what you're about to do. You're not just running in a straight line. You're running with a pole in your hand, and you're going to jump very high. And so you got to be concentrated on what you're doing.
Yeah, and there's a technique to holding, how you hold the pole while you're running down the runway.
Well,
and you brought something here, so let's come back out to us, and you can show us what the technique is. You got to talk closer to that mic there. So come back out to us, and so go ahead and hold that up.
Well, this is actually what we're going to throw to the crowd. It's a pole basically, but basically how I would hold it is I go palm up right here, palm down, and then I'd run with it like this.
Okay.
And then I'd plant up like that. And so basically that's how it looks.
But you do that within a span of just a split second. You turn that over and then boom, lift yourself up.
Yep.
Now you've got to be very strong because you're lifting yourself up via the arms, right?
Yeah, you got to be strong, especially going up poles. You gotta have, it all starts with the speed, and a tiny guy can run very fast and be able to plant a big pole, and if you're not fast, you're kind of dead in the water.
Can you get hurt coming down?
Usually when you get hurt is when you don't believe that you can do it, or you're out of zone, and if you run slow, you're gonna get hurt. That's basically what happens.
If you run slower, you're gonna get hurt.
Yep. It's all about the speed coming into takeoff.
And you got to have the confidence.
Oh, yeah.
When did you first have that confidence that, you can run down the runway with the pole in your hand, you can stick that pole in the ground and lift yourself up? When did that confidence come?
It took a long time to get that confidence. I didn't want to get hurt, so I ran faster.
Blame you. Bob, do you have anything to add to that?
No, he summarized it very, very well. And USA Today did a poll a few years ago, and the pole vault is the 3rd most difficult event there is.
In the Olympics?
Any event there is. The first thing, the most difficult, is hitting a baseball thrown at 100 miles an hour.
I was just going to ask you that because that's exactly right. It's very difficult. What about hitting a golf ball? Where does that rank?
No, it's way down the list. Second is...
You're kidding.
Second is driving a NASCAR.
It's hard.
And you take 40, the way they determine that is you take 43 cars out there, you get them at 190 miles an hour, and then they call the number 17 and say, okay, make a move. Do you see what I mean?
Yeah.
And you can't sit there and ponder it. Well, you got to make a move, or you're going to stack people up all over the speedway. Well, the 3rd most difficult is the pole vault.
Is the pole vault.
And it takes a lot of confidence. So confidence is a huge factor in the pole vault.
Yeah, I can attest to that because I did play baseball, and it is very difficult. I didn't face anybody throwing 100 miles an hour, but it's very difficult to throw a baseball. So How did they determine that this was the third most difficult out of any sport?
They spent a lot of time with kinesiology reports and did the research with
talked to various athletes.
Yeah, and they did also the tests and everything, and they spent years doing the statistics on it.
Right. I've never driven a race car, so I can't.
Well, you can see what happens on Sundays
when
all of a sudden the guy didn't move when he was supposed to, and you look back and he's got a pile of 20 cars.
Yeah, but trying to hit a golf ball has got to be number 4 on the list. I mean, it's not that. It's pretty hard.
No, it is not listed even close to these other ones.
That's amazing. Hey, we're talking with Scott Greenman and Bob Fraley. Pole vaulting championships take place in the city of Clovis this coming Friday night. You know, we got to do a whole show about that. You know that? What's the hardest sport? Is it hitting a baseball, hitting a golf ball? Pole vaulting, long jumping. Back with our program here in just a moment.
When you're looking for Whirlpool innovation and quality, who has the answers, the selection, the price? Ventura TV Appliance. With billions in nationwide appliance buying power, more than Home Depot and Best Buy combined, will help you save. Our low prices on Energy Star qualified Whirlpool appliances save you energy and money and pay no interest on select models when paid in full within 12 months. Ventura TV Appliance, serving you since 1951.
How could golf be at the bottom of the list?
I'm not sure where it is, to be honest.
We got any more video of this event taking place Friday night? What's that?
Spirit.
Okay, let's roll the videotape and we'll show you what we got here. Here, what are we looking at up here, Bob? Talk into that microphone and tell us what
right
we got.
there. When we went in and we worked with the schools, our idea is to work with the schools. The greatest program in the world is a big yellow bus going down the road with paid instructors. You've got your coaches, our teachers, you've got the kids in the uniform, and they got their equipment. That's a great. There are 40,000 high schools in America, 2,000 colleges, and just tons of elementary and junior high schools. That is the greatest program. That's the taxpayers' program out there. And so what
Look
we
at
did.
that pole. It's
and
how
so
it's
what we
bent.
did. What
Look
we
at
did
that.
on this here, we went and we worked with the colleges and high schools and come up with a new technical model. And right there, what you see on the left, that's Nick Hysong. He's the 2000 Olympic champion, and right to his right is Johnson, and he was the silver medalist. And the young lady shown on there is that's my son Doug right there.
Okay.
That was a picture that was painted, and it sold for $500,000.
You're not laughing. Are you serious?
Yeah, it sold for $500,000, and it was bought. And I mean, even as a parent, we had to pay $2,700 to get a copy of it.
You're kidding me.
Yeah.
Who painted that? You're not sure.
Yeah, I know. He's an Australian, because see, it had the thing about that painting. For the pre-Olympics.
And this is another one right here, another painting that we're looking at.
Yeah, this is a painting of the silver medalist
in 2002.
In 2004.
2004. I'm sorry, in Greece, I believe. 2004 was Greece.
Yeah, in Greece.
Amazing.
But anyway, as a
photo.
result of that, we saw the resurgence of the pole vault on the campuses across America. Because what we want is everything that we do, any money that we make or anything, we give it to grants to schools, because they're the ones that owns the infrastructure of facilities across America. Do you see what I mean? Wouldn't it make sense to aid the taxpayers instead of pulling dollars away? Give it back to the schools.
So the money that the city of Clovis is going to make money out of this too, but the money that your organization makes will give back to the schools, is what you're saying.
Like, for example, we just finished a run for the Dream Series,
yes.
And we will give a grant to Dinuba High School, Hanford High School, Lemoore High School, and one of the local junior highs. And in the Run for the Dream project that we have at the Save Mart Center, we gave money back to 6 high schools and elementary schools for their programs, because I'm just convinced the greatest program is the
now
elementary and
junior
high.
You were the track and field coach there for many years at Fresno State. You're very well known here in the Central Valley. People know who you are. And, why hasn't, I don't know anybody that can answer this question better than you, why hasn't the United States done better in track and field, and pole vaulting specifically?
Well,
pole vaulting.
it has a huge history of winning, and then it had the downturn. And then why
that downturn?
Because of the fact that the model and stuff, and and a lot of people
just a lack of interest or what?
No, it was there were injuries and stuff like this, and we needed to look at our model because the fiberglass pole come in, and we had to say, hey, what do we need to do to develop the best techniques? And so we worked with kinesiologists, we got lawyers involved, we went out and we had all kind of lawsuits and stuff that we had to settle. Well, and the biggest thing that we did is we brought women into the pole vault, and when we did that, boy,
it went up.
Yeah,
it
the
skyrocketed.
women pole vaulters are the most fit athletes in the world. That research is done.
I'm going to ask you why after this call. Go ahead, caller. You're on the air. Hey, caller. Caller.
My name is George, and I pole vaulted in the Marine Corps, and I wanted to ask those two people, those participants, if they knew who invented the fiberglass pole.
Yes, we do.
Yeah, go ahead.
It was invented by a company down in Southern California. They came up with the fiberglass pole. That is correct.
Yeah, what year was that?
It was in the early. It was in the first one came out around 1956, 57.
Mm-hmm.
And the first one that was used was by Dick Gear. He was from College of Sequoias. He went to San Jose State, and he won the nationals on the fiberglass pole. He was the first one to use it.
Yeah. Who do you aspire to be like?
Not sure. I used to be one of these kids in the crowd at the street vault, and I used to always look up to the guys, and that's how I kind of got into it. And so, just I really like Ty Hardy. He's a great pole vaulter and just a great guy, and so that's who I want to aspire.
Now
to
you
be
are from the Central Valley, from Fresno area.
Clovis.
Clovis, and so you went to these championships as a kid.
Yep.
And were a spectator.
Yep.
So you kind of grew up. You're 19.
Yep.
So you kind of grew up watching this whole thing, and now you're going to be a part of it for what, the first time or no?
This is actually going to be my 5th year.
Your 5th year competing. So how is it competing as opposed to being a spectator?
It's everything how I imagined it when I was a kid. It's exhilarating. I love to be giving back to the sport, just promoting it, and it's an awesome experience.
Is this event the sole reason you got involved in pole vaulting?
It played a big part. My dad was my coach in high school, and it was just in the family. And
you went to Clovis
High.
Clovis High.
Yep.
Okay.
And my sister pole vaulted for Coach Fraley, and I just kind of moved into the sport, and yeah.
Another call coming in. Good morning, caller. Quickly, what's your question? Hey, caller.
No, it's not a question. It's in reference to what I was talking about a while ago. Who invented the fiberglass pole?
Okay.
It was a Marine, which was a roommate of mine because we both pole vaulted, and he went down before Penn State Relays, and didn't take the bus up from Quantico, Virginia, but did show up, and we're out practicing the day before the meet itself.
Yeah.
And he pulled out these fiberglass poles.
Okay,
and
I appreciate the call.
He invented them, and he ended up having the world record. In the winter at Penn State Relays, he got the chance to go to Russia and represent the United States.
Hey, thanks for the call. Running short on time. We only got 2 minutes left, and so would you agree that women pole vaulters are the greatest athletes in the world?
I do agree. They're pretty fit.
Why do you make that statement? Why is that true?
Because we took 5 years, and we at the Pole Vault Summit where we brought in women pole vaulters from around the world. I mean, from around the world. They came in from China, Japan, Germany, France, and we brought them in, and we had kinesiologists do the body fat and the fitness test, and then they went back out onto the campuses, and these people did the research, and they came up as being these are the most fit athletes there is.
I think that probably is across the board, though, that women may be the fittest athletes across the board in every sport. It could be. Would you agree with that?
That could be.
Yeah.
And
Bob Mathias, did you know him?
Absolutely.
One of the greatest athletes in the history of mankind from the Central Valley. How would you rate him as a pole vaulter? He was a decathlete athlete.
He was a decathlete, but he was just a medium. He was medium. That was not one of his stronger events, but he was able to vault. Do you see what I mean?
Yeah.
My hero was Dutch Warmerdam.
Okay. But getting back to Bob Mathias, he was a local hero here, won the decathlon back in, I forgot what year it was, 1940
48 and 52.
48 and 52. He won it twice.
That's correct.
Yeah.
Won it
So
at
what made
17.
him such a great athlete?
Because he just had a tremendous athletic ability. He had the physical and the mental capacity to be a great athlete. He could do so many things. He had speed, strength, all of these things.
Got to go. We're out of time, gents. And Scott Greenman, thank you. And good luck on Friday night.
Thank you very
much. Bob
much.
Fraley, hey, you got to come back on the show. I love talking to you.
Well, thank you very
you're like
much.
a walking encyclopedia. It's amazing. All right, Scott Greenman and Bob Fraley, the pole vaulting street championships on Friday night starting at 4:45, the city of Clovis. And they'll go until 9 o'clock. That's going to do it for us on Connect with Me today. We'll see you back here again tomorrow. Becky Cinema's in to review all the movies. See you then. Have a great day.